I want to see you every day and have sex with you 5 times a day type love does not last. It just doesn't.
It does.
Believe it or not, that shit gets old.
No.
You only get passionate love for like 2-3 years, maybe.
Nah,
And so
only 2-3 years?
I'm sick of fucking. 3 minutes, that's all I'll give you. That's all the fuck I got.
This is a test. Oh, yeah. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak.
This
Turn it up
is a
into the
test.
green.
This is only a test.
Nothing. We're not bringing nothing to relationships. For centuries, decades, we've seen our grandmothers, our mothers, our great aunts give everything and get nothing.
Jevons Paradox is an observation applied mainly in the field of business and economics that states that making a resource more efficient will adversely increase the usage of that resource. So an example of Jevons Paradox would be groceries, for instance. Let's say that you and your family eat 1 bag of potato chips per day because all that you could afford is 1 bag of potato chips. But then the grocery store cuts the price in half, allowing you to afford 2 bags of potato chips. That's 1 for today, 1 for tomorrow. Jevons Paradox shows that cutting the price in half has the tendency to create more potato chip eaters. So now you might be lucky if you're able to even get 1 bag.
Please don't beat a dead horse.
In Jevons Paradox, there is something that occurs known as the rebound effect. The rebound effect is essentially the blowback that occurs when you attempt to improve things or make things more efficient. Imagine hearing an announcement on the radio saying that all of the oil companies felt like giving back to the people in the spirit of Christmas. So from 2:30 to 3:30, for only a half an hour, the price of gas will be lowered to 50 cents a gallon. First come, first served. What happens during the course of that half an hour? That's the rebound effect. So what is to be said about modern women who view the world they live in today as if it appeared by osmosis? As if their grandfathers weren't the ones out there doing the heavy lifting, and as if their grandmothers were oppressed baby makers, and because their grandmothers were oppressed baby makers, the grandchildren must protest by bringing nothing to relationships in modern times. This inexcusable ignorance is a gross misrepresentation of history and a typical tactic of the modern women who latch themselves onto a story of someone else's pain so as to give the impression that they also endured it as well, so they don't have to do anything or bring anything to relationships because grandma already paid the price. But what she doesn't factor in is that the men of her peer group also descended from those same grandmothers, so they would inherit the right to do nothing for you as well by virtue of their grandmothers, and you would inherit the responsibility of doing something about it by virtue of descending from your grandfather, unless you think that responsibility has a gender. So it's pointless to even address this using logic and rationale. It's just interesting that after civilizing the known world and bringing about the most efficient civilization modern society has ever known, these are the rebound effects, and these are the teachers of the current and future generations. The men who built the world are nothing more than pleasure puppets and problematic patriarchs.
But yeah, that I want to see you every day and have sex with you 5 times a day type love does not last. It just doesn't.
It does.
Where? Show me it now.
If you have 4 wives and
You've pledged your vows to the love of your life and are in romantic bliss. Oh, that honeymoon phase. You've got someone there to give it to you day and night. Day and night. Day and night. Day and night. Day and night.
You ain't gonna kill me, man. It don't take all night to fuck all night, 45 minutes. I'm fucking for 45 minutes. What the fuck am I trying to prove here? We'll be talking about the vagina. Do you find it amusing that we'll be talking about the testicles?
Men work harder. We got more to prove. Gotta make sure it's hard forever. Because if it goes down, you talk about us.
Oh, yeah.
I used to crave
sex with my husband. I mean, I could never get enough. He was a very good lover. But he was also a workaholic, and that was not his priority, if you know what I mean. So, so I felt kind of, I don't know, I felt really bad that I wasn't loved physically as much as I wanted.
What?
But that's another story. So, when I became single, I've been single since 2013. I've been really living by myself since 2007. I have found out that sex sucks. It really does. You know why?
You're old.
You know why? Because you would think the guys my age would know what to do. Well, let me tell you, they don't.
Apparently, the delusion has made its way to Grandma's house. I never thought that I would see the day where grandmas divorced their husbands to make video commentary on busting it open on random underperforming senescent phalluses. So do you have a hard-working husband who's good in bed? You do? Well, what's the problem?
I felt really bad that I wasn't loved physically as much as I wanted.
Now, I think she means pleased physically. Affection is often associated with love, but it's not love, it's affection. That's why the saying goes, I need love and affection, because one is not the other. But when affection is associated with love, is little affection associated with only loving you a little? So she's no longer with a workaholic husband who was good in bed but just worked too much. And now she's a senior citizen back on the dating market making videos about how guys her age can't put it down. What has the matriarchy come to? Is this the result of Cosmo Magazine, Sex and the City, and romance novels? Is the old and delusional the metastasis of unchecked misinformation that influenced them when they were younger?
But many women are very, very unrealistic about their standards for men, dating, and marriage.
But I think we're sold a dream as women because like you only get passionate love for like 2-3 years, maybe. That's what my dad always told. Maybe at most. Yeah, I know she's looking.
2-3.
That's what my dad said at most 2-3 years.
Nah.
And so, what do you give it 6 months?
No, I'm like only 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Short.
Yeah, that's
lifetime. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's the thing because modern women have been raised on rom-coms and Disney movies. And I think that's the reason why women are the ones initiating divorces, because they get into relationships and they realize, hang on a minute, this is actually work.
I ask this question oftentimes with black women. If you have to work as hard today or harder if you want children with a husband, would you rather have a husband or be single? And almost 100% of the time, black women would say, if I have to work as hard as I am today with a husband, I'd rather be single, because a husband is not, just by being a man ain't enough. He's supposed to make her life easier. That is why I have no problem telling women to die alone.
Oh, no, he didn't.
It is not our job to make women's lives easier. It's our job to protect, provide, but that's not necessarily easy. It's harder. Relationships are hard.
Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. But now that everyone knows how to fish, the fish supply are depleted more rapidly and the whole village is on the brink of starvation, all as a result of your trying to do what you thought was beneficial to them. This is Jevons Paradox and the Rebound Effect. So what are the rebound effects that occur when a man dedicates himself disproportionately to his craft in order to sustain the lifestyle that his spouse says she wants? Mama left workaholic Pawpaw because he didn't make that booty his number one duty. Balance is important, and there are emotional needs that most of us have as individuals. That being said, you cannot have it all. The type of man that most women say they want just so happens to be a top 1% man. Do you realistically believe that a man at the top of his game is a man that has time most of the time? No. In fact, these are some of the most stressed out men you'll ever meet. They hardly sleep, they're always on the go, and they're less spontaneous due to the fact that they have an itinerary and they're a lot more structured and rigid, which is the reason for their success. Men tend to speak in a different love language than women do. Although both she and he are saying the same thing, there's something lost in translation between them. A man can show love by his actions, and a woman will only know it if he says it, or by what her love language is, which is usually tied to their feelings. Feelings that often take a back seat to the priorities of a man on a mission. The type of man that most women say they want, but have no idea what that comes with. You could either have it this way, or you can have it that way, but you can't have both, and no one can have it all.